Almost every organization has a job description system. However, at times, new jobs have not been formally documented. If you have not been provided with a description for a job that falls under your authority, you may have an advantage if you fill the void with your version of the job description. If you are going to create a job description, here are some simple steps you can follow to make certain that the candidate and you have a clear understanding of what the job is. In addition, this job description assumes you will take responsibility for the expectations you laid out earlier and translate that into clear criteria that will be used to ultimately make a judgment on the performance. It's as simple as ABC. A, define the expectations. Start with defining the results required of the job. Seems simple, but this takes us back to the expectations we talked about in the previous chapter. You must carefully define what success on the job really means for the associate and the organization. If the job is to process applications for a loan, then what does a processed loan really mean? What should it look like? How will you know it's done well? What is the expected quality of the paperwork? How many loans should be accomplished in a day? In short, define the job's expected outputs. B, establish the process. Once you have defined those expectations, then you must specify how that job gets done. This may be the same way it was done before you had the vacancy, or it may be a new way. Do this in a detailed manner so you can also use it as a training document for the new individual. If you know how to draw a flow chart, make one. If you're more comfortable with a step-by-step list of the actions required, do that. Since few jobs have really only one task, you will need to make a list for each element of the job. Make certain that the list defines clearly what the person will be doing each and every day. C, list the requirements. Now define what it takes to be able to do this job. Here, you should write down the criteria, and that means knowledge, skills, and attitudes that the applicant must have in order to be successful. If the person needs to be good with numbers and skilled with operating a calculator, then make it clear that the associate needs the previous knowledge of processing loans, then make that clear as well. In every respect, be very specific about the core requirements any candidate must have in order to be successful.